Good morning and welcome to Anchor's Chat. Beyond the headlines, beyond the scripts, this is Anchor's Chat, a newsroom conversation where journalists exchange views, debate issues, and unpack the stories behind the news, just as they say it. Today on Anchor's Chat, we look at this story. Israel-Iran tensions. U.S. alerts citizens as Shiites protest in Nigeria. We are open for sponsorship of the program, advert placements, news, events, coverage, and commercials. Watch us live on our website, www.atlanticnetwork.tv. On Facebook and YouTube, Atlantic Television Network. You can also watch us on Avo TV, Niger TV, and Ifastech TV platform. You can connect with us on our ATN socials by subscribing, like, and share. Facebook and YouTube, Atlantic Television Network. Instagram and TikTok, Atlantic TV Network 1, and on X, Atlantic TV Net. We'll go on a short break, and when we come back, we'll delve right into the show. Do not go.
From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring on-spot news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economic, sports, and documentaries. So catch all your bits on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today. On ATN. From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring on-spot news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economic, sports, and documentaries. So catch all your bits on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today. On ATN. From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring on-spot news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economic, sports, and documentaries. So catch all your bits on the...
Welcome back, and thank you for staying with me. Joining me this morning, Anchor's Chat, as usual, is Ofina Anocha, an in-house journalist. Good morning, Ofina, and welcome.
Good morning, Madam Laurentia. It's always a pleasure doing this with you.
Thank you very much. Also a pleasure as well. And you as well, Ofina.
Thank you
as well. And then on to the story. United States has issued a security advisory to its citizens in Nigeria following escalating hostilities between the U.S. and Iran as members of the Islamic movement in Nigeria staged protests in Lagos and other states. Demonstrators in Lagos marched peacefully through the parts of the Maryland axis, condemning reported U.S. and Israeli attacks that allegedly killed Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, and other senior figures. Similar protests were held in Kano, Yobe, Gombe, and Bauchi, where participants expressed solidarity with Iran and denounced what they described as foreign aggression. Security agencies monitored the demonstrations, which authorities said ended without any breach of peace. Police in Kano confirmed deploying personnel to ensure order, while officials in Bauchi reported no incidents. In its advisory, the U.S. government urged its citizens to exercise increased caution, citing potential travel disruptions and heightened tensions linked to ongoing military operations involving Iran. Americans were advised to follow updates from U.S. embassies and enroll in the Smart Traveler Enrollment Program for security information. The alert followed reports of retaliatory missiles by Iran targeting U.S. bases in the Gulf region. Ofina, you've been following the Israeli-U.S. strike against Iran and also the reprisal attack from Iran as well to the neighboring countries that Iran claims that they are U.S. allies. What is your take on this, particularly with respect to Shiite Muslim protesting against U.S.-Israeli attack on Iran?
Okay, I should start by noting the fact that this is becoming a bit threatening, and I am praying, let's hope that this doesn't escalate to a third world war. And then it is very concerning the fact that we are having this protest in Nigeria, protests for something that didn't happen in Nigeria. And then let me also talk about the tag of this protest. When I watched the video, the placards some of the protesters carried had "We Nigerians," and a lot of them were even chanting, "We Nigerians, we do not support the killing of Mene." And I was like, what do they mean by "we Nigerians"? This is just a small faction of Nigerians, a small faction of the Northerners carrying out a protest and then tagging the entire Nigerians. Like how? And it is very concerning that with everything that has been happening in this country, with the level of insecurity that Nigeria has encountered, that the Northerners has encountered, we hear killings every day in the northern parts of Nigeria. You know, hundreds are being killed on a daily basis. Look at the attack in Kwara State. Look at the attacks in Kebbi State. We record abductions on a daily basis. And the fact that no one in the north has ever come out to stage a protest that, oh, Muslims are being killed. You know, prior to this time, was, oh, Christian genocide. Christians are being killed. But then with time and with everything that we witnessed, that narrative was kind of dropped. It was now crystal clear that not only Christians were being killed, Muslims were being killed alike. And then the fact that there was no single protest for the Muslims that were being killed because they refused to bow to extremists. Nobody came out to say anything. Even the faction of the Muslims who were being killed, none of them did protest. And then we now have Khamenei being killed. We have the U.S. Having issues with a different country entirely, and Nigerians are now coming up to protest and condemn the killing. The question now is, this faction of the Northerners that are protesting and condemning the killing of Khamenei, what is their reason? Is there something behind the protest that we do not know?
Yes, Khamenei and his regime are Shiites as well, right? Now, the greater part of nations of the world that are Islam are Sunnis. Now, in Islam, you have the Sunnis and you have the Shiites, right? So now the Sunnis are they are more liberal. They are mostly the peace-loving Muslims that you see.
Okay.
Now the Shiites are more on the extremist side, right? Now the Ayatollah, the Khamenei that was killed, the Ayatollah regime, they are of the Shiites. In fact, they are a very tiny group that, you know, it was a lot. That's Iran, by the way, is very important to know that Iran, by the way, was westernized.
Okay.
They weren't the way they were today. You know, they are women, they had women rights, they had child rights, the women were free to, you know, attend education, they were free to leave their hair open, you know, Western dressing and all of that, attend whatever they want to, until the revolution started with some civil groups and the clerics, you know, on the side of the Shiites. up till some time, you know, they overthrew the monarchy, and the clerics took over power. And after taking over power, even some groups that, you know, worked with them, some of them were executed. And this group, small religious group, they were the Shiites in the Muslim, in the Iran kingdom at that time. And then you see the likes of Khamenei rising into power, and then he was the one that introduced the extreme Islam practices. Now, the US have accused Iran of funding Hezbollah, of funding ISIS and different terrorist organizations around the world. Israel and US have also accused Iran of building nuclear weapons, and particularly nuclear weapons that Israel is claiming is targeted at obliterating Israel. Now, Israel had to, you know, in Israel being an ally, a very strong ally of the US, had an understanding with them. And according to what Trump is saying, that Khamenei has been busy stalling conversations with regards to peace deal and stop production of nuclear weapons. Khamenei has been stalling the conversation to buy time to build the nuclear weapons, and then Trump said that they weren't going to have it, and they did what they did. Now, it's interesting to note that while some of the Shiites, because I will not say all of the Shiites,
yes,
while some of the Shiites in Nigeria are busy protesting the assassination of Khamenei and, of course, the US and Israel strike against Iran, while some of them are busy protesting that in Nigeria, the greater majority of Iran are celebrating
that's
in the country. In Iran, majority of Iranians are on the streets celebrating. Iranians all over the world, in the US, in the UK, in different parts of the world, they are celebrating and thanking Trump for this action. So now the question would be, what is the interest of Nigerian Shiites? So this protest now, one would say to a large extent, is purely religious, because the regime that was toppled in Iran is from the Shiite side of Islamic religion. And it doesn't make sense to me that in Nigeria, that is rife with insecurity, like you rightly said, rife with insecurity, rife with serious and heavy underdevelopment. And majority of the insecurity in Nigeria is not recorded in the north.
Yes.
And these people did not see the killings in the north worthy of protest, worthy of calling out the government. However, in faraway Iran, a leader is killed, and Nigeria, the Shiites in Nigeria are protesting. You know, if probably they were protesting because of the fact that it's affecting oil and the price of oil, and somehow it's going to affect cost of living, probably protesting that Nigerian government should, you know, demonopolize the economy and venture into other, maybe poly economy, one will now sit back and say, okay, this protest has some semblance of sense. So I am trying to understand how in 2026 some group of Nigerians are protesting in solidarity with, I wouldn't say in solidarity with Iran, in solidarity with an extremist regime in Iran for a cause that does not concern Nigeria. Does this even make sense right now? I'm even trying to make sense.
Did you know what? Something else that came to my mind.
Yes.
The fact that these protests took place in some parts of Lagos, and then it was very successful, very peaceful. We didn't have the military firing shots at these people.
They were protecting them.
Yes, if this protest was to be that which was going to make Nigeria better, probably a group of persons coming out to say, oh, this is becoming too much. We don't want this.
You don't need to go to
it was something that would be beneficial.
Electoral Act protest. The protest tear gas.
Yes, tear gas. And when these other people who that came out to protest for the demolition of their dwelling places.
Okay, yes.
They were
tear gassed. Lagos State, yes. Magodo demolition.
They were tear gassed. The NSAS protest, we saw what happened.
Youths were killed.
We saw what happened.
Massacred.
And then we have this group of people coming out to say, we Nigerians, it is even wrong.
And you can actually see police guiding them. You can actually see that on the screen. The police is shielding them and guiding them. That's the Nigeria we find ourselves. And you know, the dangerous thing about this is now that US is alerting its citizens in Nigeria, which means they have taken account of this particular action.
Yes.
Now, what our prayer will be right now is that nothing should happen one American citizen in this country. If anything should happen to any American citizen right now in this country, Nigeria will be at the brunt, because now the US will interpret it as reprisal attack from shites in Nigeria. And your guess is as good as mine what the repercussions will be. You see, most times when people come out to act from a place of lack of knowledge and understanding, they do not exactly understand the implications of what they are doing. Right? So our prayers right now will be, let nothing happen to any American citizen. Let there be no kidnap, no form of death, no threat. No American citizen should to the US embassy that something has gone wrong somewhere, or that they are being threatened, because it's not going to be funny. You know, it's not going to be funny. And interestingly, one thing Nigerian government should understand with regards to what is going on is that Nigeria cannot boast to come close to what Iran has in terms of military strength and firepower. Yes. Even though Iran is way, way, way below the radar compared to US. And that is why the reprisal attacks from Iran is not directed as to US soil. Rather, it is directed at the allies of US, the Gulf nations. Now, one would say these people didn't do anything to you. US did. Israel did. They are actually firing missiles at Israel, but not one nuke has entered the US soil, right? That goes to, that on its own is a statement. And interestingly, all the allies of Iran right now, you know, before they were making a lot of mouth, but right now they are not saying much.
Yes.
Why I'm mentioning this is so that Nigeria will understand that while the US are watching, also the body language of the government, they are watching. And Nigeria does not come close. And I am saying this on national television. Nigeria has not won the local. Nigeria has not won war security. How much more against
the US?
I have nothing to say. The only thing I would say is that these protests haven't happened. Nigeria's government should ensure that every US citizen in this country is safe. Especially as US has alerted its citizens in Nigeria as a result of this protest. Every Nigerian citizen in this country must be safe. Every US citizen, particularly again in this country, must be safe. Because if anything should happen to any US citizen, I'm repeating it again, US will interpret it as a call to action.
Yes.
Because the government so far has not come out to debunk or refute this particular protest.
Yes.
They will say it is it is lawful to protest. Yes, it is very lawful to protest. But we are Nigerians, and just like you rightly stated, it is apparent that protests are selective in this country. There are certain protests you cannot hold. And in this particular protest, Nigerian government is silent. And my advice to Nigerian government is, as US has alerted its citizens, it means that Nigeria is under security watch by the US. If there is need for Nigerian government to be very proactive in this particular matter. Thank you very much. Ofina, it's a pleasure having you today. Thank you very much. And we'll go on a short break, and when we come back, open conversation comes up next. Do not go away.
Happenings around the world.